This is JC from Real and Simulated Wars. I am playing a bit of Combat Mission, the recently released DLC for Cold War British Army of the Rhine. And I have created this very small scenario. This scenario shouldn't be taken seriously. It's almost like a practice scenario. It has resulted in some challenge, I have to admit, but just because I'm such a bad player of Combat Mission anyway. So the story goes of uh, a British force is conducting an administrative move right now, and it's moving along A39, which is not an autobahn. We're lucky that that road is paved, to be honest, but just for the for the sake of a story. And this column was caught by a Soviet advance guard, not even a forward detachment. A forward detachment would be something bigger, but they were caught along this approach route, which later will become a main supply route. So it is important to keep it, just not to keep holding the traffic and the flow of supplies. So it's very important to counteract this. So the force that I have featured, it is a platoon of infantry, mechanized infantry. We will talk a little bit about how to use them, which I know nothing, I have to confess. It has some Milan ATGMs. This is an anti-tank force, a missile-based tank force. And if you notice, it's a platoon. And that is something that caught my eye, and we will talk about that in a few seconds. So we have some mortars, actually two tubes, not enough to do too much damage. And as soon as get under attack, the headquarters is going to send us some reinforcements, like an additional platoon of ATGMs, again, Milan launchers, and well, they will also try to loan us some tanks. Don't expect too much, maybe a section or something like that. As for the place that we were caught on, we have plenty of farmland. As you can see, the enemy forces, which consist of a section of tanks and a company minus of mechanized infantry is coming from this area, which is open farms. There is this big tree line, a very small bridge that is crossing a stream. This stream is passable, not too much of an obstacle, but it is there. It can contain some patches of mud that may impair the movement. And there is a couple of, it's just a single ridge that is cut in half by this road, call it Rolling Stone Ridge. And, well, just because I wanted to pay tribute to Bob Dylan, I guess. Uh, because this place, this farm over here, I call it Maggie's farm. So anyway, just there is a very nice defensive position, which is a Lutheran seminar retreat house, which is in the middle of the advance route. And again, the objective is to stop the enemy forces from uh, taking over this route, and we will see what that comes out from, what this accounts for. So the first topic that I wanted to always touch on, it is the use of these mechanized uh, FB based mechanized infantry. The FBs are very similar to the M113s. Very, very, it's like a can. Uh, very prone to burn up in flames when it confronts a BMP, which has an autocannon. These guys do have only a machine gun, and that's one important part that I tried in different ways, and the only role that I can have for it is like the usual euphemism of battle taxi. Get the troops into place in a rapid manner and then back out or place them on a dev file or whatnot. And second, this is something that I really am interested in, is why these anti-tank ground missile units are based, are grouped into platoons instead of anything else. The Milan launcher is never a section type of weapon like a javelin for the US Army or the Dragon launcher sometimes, but it's rather an independent platoon. It's not even a, a weapon that you would deploy within a mechanized infantry platoon. It's always separate. And I am exploring why, and I believe I understand why, and we will see it in the scenario more properly. So what I am going to do, it is I'm going to show you how the different assets do facilitate the mobility and how that mobility can be exploited uh, for tactical advantage. And the second thing that I want to show you, that I want to make emphasis on, it is that this is not a proper scenario. You see, the troop density for our own troops is giganormous. One of the things that the British, in their by the time, but that time in the 1980s, doctrinal publications emphasized it is that the Milans should be always deployed in a dev file. Here, I'm just making the best of the cover that I do have and placing them facing the enemy, which is not always the best idea because these Milan anti-tank missiles may be very good against BMPs, but against T-62s, if you catch them on front, they're gonna have an issue. So in that spirit, we sail. It's over there. For the infantry, I just want them to go into the retreat house. And, well, I'm going to take advantage of their speed to do a rapid deployment. Let me show you how that goes. There is some sort of imperfection there in the map I created, so that's causing a bit of an issue with traffic. I should probably add a bridge because there is a small stream right there. So these guys are going to be disembarking And just to show you the other part of the game, we have the FBs transporting the Milan teams. Quite speedy, quite nice. Let's see how the rest of the scenario unfolds. My Milan teams are already disembarking and taking position along the road. There is a rural stone wall which should provide a modicum of cover, and we have the same for the infantry team. They are moving quite nicely. I'm going to be making a pause as soon as they arrive into position, just to comment into their deployment. And this is a bit from the Soviet point of view. Wow, we have destroyed 1, 2, 5 BMPs. That's quite catastrophic for the Soviets. Infantry can be seen moving forward, so this is gonna be hard. And let me show you something. Let me pause this and let me show you the deployment of infantry in the retreat house. So first things first, I have the machine guns in the tower, and well, not that I like it, because I do believe that that makes them very liable to fire from the enemy. Can be targeted from many different places, but somebody has to do the job, and being them with the maximum, with the most range among these forces deployed in the complex, I have to make use of them. However, what I have provided them with is with a targeting arc, so they don't fire prematurely. I have that set up at around 150, 100 meters, and well, I'm just hoping that, you know, they don't engage anything other than that. They don't have AT rockets, so if the tanks or BMPs start to move very, very close, it's gonna be bad for them. The other thing that I wanted to show you, it is the deployment of infantry. I have avoided to deploy infantry into the houses and facing the enemy. The reason for that, it is, well, I was expecting BMPs. I don't know, maybe there is one BMP left over there, and once the BMP targets these infantry teams into a house, uh, that's going to be devastating for the infantry team. So what I have provided them, it is deployed them, is in this type of fashion, kind of in a defilade deployment. They are supposed to be providing defilated fire against enemy forces moving there. too close, I know, but hopefully all the rifle muzzles are going to pay an effect. The other ones are here, this other team. You know, there is a small slit over there, almost like a keyhole. I'm just hoping that the enemy doesn't move a BMP right there. And, well, I have my other machine gun over there in the corner. And the second section, that one is deployed in a house because they have somehow the obscuration and kind of the cover of the first house over there. So I'm just hoping that that pays off. And right when I sent a couple of my Milan teams back to their carriers to pick up more missiles because, you know, big rate of fire, the, the things start to get very interesting when it rains in purse. You see in the background to the right, you see enemy tanks just making their advance. So that's kind of bad. And, well, we'll have to cope with that. Let's see a bit more of that action. I need to think how to carry on, but it is kind of obvious that it's going to be too risky just to let the tanks approach as much as we can and then ambush them directly from the front. Probably I'm going to take advantage of those FBs and move through the side and just see what happens after that. So thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.